Hey there, and welcome to my guide on the Moons of Peril, or if you haven't completed the quest yet, the Perilous Moons as well. This guide, like all my others, is intended for all account types, so you Ironmen out there don't have to worry about having high tier gear or supplies, as I'll be providing you with the bare minimum stats and gear to take on this trio. In fact, for this content, you don't even need to bring your own supplies, and will only need to bring gear and weapons to take on the bosses. And as always, timestamps are going to be included if you are looking for something specific in the guide. To access the Moons of Peril, you must have first completed the Perilous Moons quest, which requires completion of Twilight's Promise and Children of the Sun. Both of these are extremely easy quests. If you need help completing them, I recommend using the Runelite Quest Helper plugin or checking out Slayer Music's guides on the quests. Now in terms of the bosses, if you are trying to simply do the quest, the minimum stats you will want are base 60 melees and hit points, along with 20 fishing, hunter, and cooking. This will allow you to use dragon weaponry, make your own food, and kill the bosses with the absolute most bare bones approach, but it will be a major struggle. So unless you have one of those special snowflake accounts or just wish to finish the quest early on, I do not recommend using these stats for grinding out the bosses. But it is totally possible to do it just might take a couple attempts. Thus, the preferred stats that I recommend going for are base 70 melees, 38 herblore, 34 prayer, 50 cooking, and 50 hunter or fishing. With these melee stats you're going to hit a bit more, you have access to better weaponry and defensive gear such as Barrow's gear. The minimum of 38 herblore gives you access to the Moon's version of prayer and super combat potions, temporarily boosting your combat stats and further decreasing your kill times. In terms of prayer, funny enough, protection prayers do not actually work for these bosses at all, so if you wanted to, you could realistically come here with a 1 prayer account. But nonetheless, having some prayer levels such as level 34 for some of the offensive melee prayers is pretty beneficial, such as Steel Skin, Ultimate Strength, and Incredible Reflexes. Alternatively, if you have level 70 prayer and you've completed the King's Ransom quest for the Knight's Training Grounds, you get access to Piety, which will greatly speed up your kills as well. As for hunter, fishing, and cooking, level 50 is a good place to start. However, it is extremely beneficial to get these levels as high as you can. Most notably, cooking. And the reason for this is the lizards and fish you eat inside this cavern heal you for 1/3 of your cooking, 1/3 of your fishing, or half your hunting level, depending on what you're eating, and whichever heals you for less and is rounded down. This might sound a little confusing, so let me break it down into some examples. For the lizards, if you have 50 hunter and 50 cooking, you will heal for 16 health. But if you have 50 hunter with 60 cooking, this will now go up to a 20 heal. With 50 hunter and 75 cooking, it will then go to a 25 heal, at which point if you have 80 cooking but still have 50 hunter, then your heal will remain at a 25. Conversely, if you have 80 hunter but only 50 cooking, you will still only have a 16 heal. Thus, the highest heal you can get without boost is at 99 cooking with 66 hunter, where you'll get a 33 heal instead. Now for the Barim, if you have 50 fishing with 50 cooking, you will heal for 16. But if you have 50 fishing with 60 cooking, this will stay at 16. Same applies if you're 60 fishing and 50 cooking instead, it will still be a 16 heal. It simply picks the lowest of the two skills and heals you for exactly 1/3 of that level. Thus, you need 99 fishing and 99 cooking at the same time to achieve a 33 heal for this fish. So 9 times out of 10, for most accounts, the lizards are simply just going to be the better option for heals, and they're faster to prep anyways. But as you can see from this, you end up not using any of your own supplies, and end up solely relying on the dungeon's sources of food, prayer, and stat boosting potions for the fights. So with supplies and stats established, let's go ahead and move on to gear. In terms of gear, this place is heavily reliant on just dealing as much damage as possible, or having the tankiest gear you have to minimize damage taken. So for you lower level accounts, I recommend just throwing on the best tank gear that you have, with Rune being the worst that I'd recommend. Moving on to weapons, you want to bring your best slash, stab, crush, and spect weapon that you own. So for example, for a slash weapon, you can bring a dragon scimitar, for stab, a dragon longsword, for crush, a dragon mace, and for spec, a DDS. And if you want to see the personal gear that I use myself, here's what I use, and then here's an example of a low-level setup as well. In terms of getting to the Moons of Peril, you must first enter the Camtorum mine, and then enter the Napotzali? I don't know how to say this, man. Whatever the hell this place is called. Your best ways of getting here are using the calcified moths, which you can obtain after completing the Perilous Moons quest. You can take the Quetzal transportation system to the entrance of Camtorum after building a landing site, or alternatively to the Teomat on top of the mountain. If you end up teleporting to the Teomat, or using the Rallos' Rise teleport on a dependence of 8s, on the southeastern side of the mountain, there is a 47 agility shortcut that allows you to get to the entrance of Camtorum much faster. And those are more or less the best ways to get here. Now moving on to inventory, all you're going to need is your slash, stab, crush, and special attack weapon, along with an emergency teleport, and if you have it, a rune pouch with runes for thralls, and a Book of the Dead. And then one other item you can bring, which is definitely not required, but definitely does help during the Eclipse fight, is your highest strength bonus weapon. Other than that, just leave your inventory completely empty. In terms of Runelite plugins, there is none dedicated to this boss. There is, however, custom plugins and things that you can use yourself, and things that I personally recommend doing. Using ground markers and marking these 4 tiles in the eclipse room when you have to follow the moon around the room. Using NPC indicators to highlight the moon in the eclipse room to make it easier to follow it. And lastly, using tile indicators, which is entirely preference and something I use myself, but I really like knowing where I'm going and the exact tile I'm hovering before I click. Upon entering the antechamber, which is the Moons of Peril starting area, there's 3 corridors that you can enter. There is the Ancient Prison, otherwise known as the Blood Moon area, and has nothing useful for prepping. Next is the Earthbound Cavern, where you find the Blue Moon boss and where you find lizards. And lastly, you have the Streambound Cavern, which is where you find the Eclipse boss and where you also catch fish. Depending on your hunting and fishing level, that is going to be the deciding factor of which cavern you go into. Personally, I think Hunter is easier. It is a faster way of getting food because the lizards are much faster to get, and my Hunter is also a higher level. So we are going to enter the Earthbound Cavern. Upon entering, you can run around over to this little camping site. Here, you can make a cup of tea to restore your run energy, and every single site and cavern is going to have one of these. And at each of these camping sites, you're going to find these crates, which is where you actually get the supplies to do these runs. So in either of the caverns, you're going to grab a herbivore supply crate, and then depending on if you're fishing or hunting, you're going to grab one of these too. To make your potions, you're going to find these bushes called grubby saplings. You're going to pick these, and then you're going to crush these worms. After crushing the grubs or worms, you're going to add them to your vials of water, and that is how you get the prayer potions here, which, as I stated earlier, also act as a super combat on steroids, because as you can see, they boost my stats to insane levels. Now for food, we're going to take a rope and connect it to all 4 of these rocks. Once we do that, we're going to run over to this bush and we're going to rustle it, and some lizards are going to run out and get trapped. Pick up these lizards, and for a full inventory, you're going to do this a couple times. And just for reference, each of these lizards are going to give you 1 to 3 food when cooked, which, as you can see here, you don't have to cut them or anything, you just simply use them on the fire, and when they cook, they just fill your inventory. And just like that, we have a full inventory of food and 2 prayer potions. So that is how you completely prep inside the Earthbound Cavern if you plan on doing hunting. And now showing you how to prep if you plan on fishing, so enter the Streambound Cavern. Once here, same concept, you're going to run all the way around until you find the campsite. Once here, make yourself a cup of tea, grab a herbivore and a fishing supply crate, pick some grubbies, crush them up, make some potions, and then come over to this bridge and you're going to fish in this fishing spot. So just sitting here, you can collect fish, but if you want to get fish quicker, you can align your net with the stream. And you're supposed to do it as you see the fish enter that area. So this fish, for example, is going there. I'm going to catch that one there, this one there, this one's coming this way. Same concept there. You get bonus fish by doing this, or again, you can just align your stream to the direct middle and you'll just get a full inventory over time. And same concept, the lizards, you just come over here and cook, and that's how you get all your supplies from here. But as you can see, that took a little bit longer than the hunting. The hunting is definitely faster, but it's not much of a time save, so it doesn't matter which method you do. And one last tip before we go into the boss fights, if you see these little moonlight moths, I recommend tagging them, because you can actually consume these for prayer points. Now granted, you do need 8500 to barehand these, but if you have a butterfly net with a butterfly jar, you can catch them at 75, and as you can see right here, we're going from 49 prayer points all the way up, if it would catch, to 71, just like that. And I can catch another one, and boom, full prayer just like that. This way you save your actual moonlight potions for the fight, and don't end up running through them quicker. So now that you know how to prep, let's go ahead and go over all the boss's mechanics. For the Blood Moon's pool special attack, all you're going to do is simply avoid all the pools in the ground. The second you see one starting to form, you can move away from it, and you won't take damage from a pool until it's completely full on the tile. So for example, if one's pre-formed and you're still on that tile, you won't take damage until it's completely full. For the Blood Moon Jaguar special, you're going to simply attack the Jaguar, which will actually heal you, and then click on the blood pool behind you the second you see that it's completely full. This is kind of counterintuitive to the blood pool special attack from before, but is the best and easiest way to visually see when you're supposed to walk back and then attack the Jaguar once again. For the Blue Moon Tornado special, the brazier on the east and west side of the rooms are going to be extinguished. All you're going to do is avoid the tornadoes and light these back up, and the boss will not heal any more health. If you're not confident in actually getting to these braziers and feel like you won't be able to light these without getting hit, you can just simply sit in the middle of the room, but it will heal the boss 100 health. Also, if you're hit by a tornado, you do have to turn your run energy back on. For the Weapon Freeze special, which is where you lose your weapon, you're simply going to attack the ice block twice, and then you're going to step back. Then you're going to attack it twice once again, and then once again step back and repeat until the ice block has been broken. For the Eclipse Moon's shield attack, you're simply going to follow the moon around the room, and that's literally it. Just make sure you stand behind it, don't run too far ahead of it, don't run too far behind it, otherwise you will get hit. Just simply follow it, and you won't take any damage. After a full rotation of the room, the moon will disappear, and then you simply head back to the sunspots on the ground and attack the boss once again. And lastly, for the Eclipse Moon's clone special, all you're going to do is click underneath the clones the second they spawn, and make sure you put on your highest strength bonus weapon. There is no tick delay on these attacks. The second you click underneath one of these clones, it is going to get hit, so you can use something with 7 ticks and it's still going to hit all the clones in time. And now that you guys know how to prep and know all the boss's mechanics, let's go ahead and do a run from start to finish. So to get us started, if you have 34 prayer, go ahead and set up your quick prayers and set it to steel skin, ultimate strength, and incredible reflexes. From here, choose what path you're going to go to. Once again, if you're hunting, you're going to go this way. If you're fishing, you're going to go this way. I'm of course going to be doing hunting. Entering this cavern, we're going to run all the way around, which is down here. Once here, we're going to make a cup of tea for full run energy. We're going to grab a herbivore crate and a hunting crate. I'm going to drop the butterfly net because I know I don't need that. Grab some grubbies, crush them up, add them to my vials of water, and instantly set up our trap. Also, can we just acknowledge how despicable this ratio is? Like, I know a lot of you like my content and find my guides helpful, so just do us both a favor and just subscribe already. We can drop our pestle and mortar and our rope now. And go ahead and cook these up. And now we're ready for the fights. So from here, because we're doing the blood moon first, we're going to run through the cavern down to the southern entrance. Just simply run around. We're not going through this cave, we're going through this one. From here, run directly east, and this entrance right here is to get to the Blood Moon boss. The Blood Moon boss is weak to slash, so make sure you equip your slash weapon, make sure it's set to slash, go ahead and enter, and pre-pot up. Turn on activate quick prayers, and simply attack the boss while making sure you're always standing on these sunspots. And now the boss is doing one of its special attacks. Just make sure to follow these sunspots and attack these jaguars. The second you see this tile fill up with blood, you're going to walk to it. Attack the jaguar, same concept. Back to the jaguar. And so on and so forth. It seems counterintuitive to step on the tile the second you see it fill up with blood, but it's the best way to visually time this attack. Now make sure to always stand on these little sunspots, as these are safe spots, or rather areas you're going to take less damage in. And the Blood Moon boss is arguably the worst of the three. I think it is by far the worst. It is the hardest one because it heals so much health while fighting it. This phase, all you're going to do is dodge the blood pools. Simply walk around, avoiding anything that is underneath you. It's very easy. It's probably the easiest phase in all the rooms, if I had to be completely honest. And then simply go back to the sunspot and attack the boss. We just got smited. I'm smart. That was one tick too early, as you saw there. We took damage. And I forgot to mention that attacking the jaguars does actually heal you as well. And there we go, Blood Moon is dead. We can deactivate our prayers, make a cup of tea to get our energy back, heal up, and if you need, you can actually resupply as well. So if you used a lot of food or prayer potions during that fight, which many of you will do if you're lower levels, you can make more potions, you can catch more lizards, and you can gear up for the next fight. Now what we'll do from here is run to this eastern cavern, and here we're going to find the Blue Moon boss, which is weak to crush. This is a fairly easy fight. You're going to once again come in here, turn on your quick prayers, and follow the sunspots. Make sure you're set to crush. For this phase, the little tornadoes are going to spawn on both sides of the room. These braziers are going to get burnt out, or extinguished rather, and you're going to run over and you're going to turn them back on. If you're not confident in dodging these tornadoes, you can actually sit in the center of the room. The boss is going to heal 100 health though if you do this. Additionally, getting hit by a tornado does turn your run energy off, so you have to turn it back on. And then you can get back to fighting the boss once again on the sunspots. For the next special attack at Blue Moon, you're going to lose your weapon. You're going to have to simply kick or punch these frozen, I think it says frozen weapons, but they're just giant ice blocks. You can get 2 hits in, as you can see here, 1, 2, you run back, wait for it to blow up, run right back, 1, 2, back up, 1, 2, and so on and so forth until it's broken, and then you get your weapon back and you have to wait for the boss to come back. There we go, back to the sunspot, kill the boss with crush. And there we go. Blue moon is down. Make a cup of tea, even though I'm at full run energy. And just because I see that I have 1 dose of rare left, I am going to go ahead and make another herbal potion. So there we go, making 2 more of these just for the hell of it. Drop that. And the last fight is over here. Cross this bridge, head west. And this is the Eclipse boss. This one is weak to stab. Make sure you whip out your stab weapon, set it to stab, and enter on in. So this is actually a special phase off the rip. Which I don't think it's going to work for me. Oh, it does work. Sweet. For this, all you're going to do is click the clones as they spawn. The second you see them, you click underneath them. And this is why you want the highest strength weapon you have, because it hits automatically. There's no tick delay. So you do an insane amount of damage if you do that. Then you're going to go back to your stab weapon. Per usual, step on the sunspot and simply stab the boss until it dies. There is, however, one more special attack that we're going to see here very shortly. Here we are. So to spawn this moon shield, I like to have it marked. As you can see, it shows a lot easier that it's being marked. And you're just going to simply follow it. It is going to stop for a couple ticks at these little 4 spots that I've marked. You don't want to run ahead of it. You don't want to run behind it. Otherwise, you're going to take a little bit of damage. And just for reference, here's what I'm talking about. Run in front of it. Oh, I didn't get hit. Did get hit. But there you go. It finishes a full rotation. Then you can head right back to the sunspot, attack the boss, throw a couple specs in for the hell of it. And back to this special once again, just so you can see it from the start. So the clone spawns, click it, click underneath it, and boom, there we go. Boss is dead. All 3 moons bosses have been killed. Make a cup of tea, and then you head this way. Cross the bridge to the south, not to the west, but the southeast. And through this entrance is the loot room. So let's go ahead and claim our chests, see what we get as reward. And there you go. You can bank it, or you can bring it to your inventory. I recommend banking it so you can just get right back to another run. And to start your next run, you can head south, which will bring you to the Blood Moon entrance. If you have supplies for the Blood Moon fight once again, or you can run all the way north, head this way, around this corridor right here, and you can head right back to the Earthbound Cavern for hunting again, or stay in the Streambound Cave after you kill that boss, get your loot, head back north this way, and you can go right to fish. So there you have it. You now know everything you need to do the Moons of Peril. Notable reasons for killing the Moons of Peril are of course their armor sets, which are essentially the new meta for Ironman over rushing Barrows. The moons themselves are also very beginner friendly and are an amazing way to learn more about the PvM side of Runescape with very minimal risk, as the chamber provides all the supplies you need to kill the bosses. Meaning all you really have to do is bring your best combat gear and have a ready to grind mindset, as getting an armor drop is a 1 in 19 if all 3 bosses have been killed. And now that we've officially covered everything and are wrapping things up, I would just like to mention that I am streaming again on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube, so come check out my streams on whatever platform you prefer, and I look forward to interacting with you and the rest of chat there. And if you made it this far into the video, thank you very much for watching and I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to look out for my future videos and guides, check out my Ironman Completionist series, check out my streams, and also join my Discord, all of which will be in the description below. But most importantly, I hope all of you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.